Sunscreen is expensive and it's not always easily available. Mwape Chimpampa from Zambia decided to do something about that. She's 15 years old and she's working on an affordable, homegrown sunscreen.
The sunscreen that I came up with is completely organic. I use mainly organic materials that could help to protect the skin from sunburn, most of which are plants, and some of them are just some natural substances like honey. I used banana, turmeric, and milk as well.
And how did you come up with the formula?
Well, I had to do some examining on what some successful people have already done. Such would include sun ozone sonnet spray from Germany, and another one could be UV block, which is a cream which we receive from China. These were all chemical compositions, but I could examine them, the properties they had, and find organic materials which had similar properties and would do the exact same job in my sunscreen.
How long did it take you?
About a year or so, but the testing took me about 6 months.
And why did you decide that you wanted to create an organic sunscreen?
Well, this came from a little story of mine. My father had albinism like myself and my little sister, but he grew up in a very poor family which could not afford this very expensive sunscreen. This moved me to have to make sunscreen because later on in his life, he got skin cancer and died from that in 2017. Seeing this experience, I just had to do something about it to prevent it from happening to someone else. Who knows, it might have been myself or even my sister.
And how old were you when your father died, Mwape?
I was 7. As I grew older, I understood the problem better and better. And when I was about 13 to 14, that's when I started this venture in making my sunscreen. I completed it when I was 14 years old.
And where were you able to trial and test this? Were you able to do that at school?
So the initial tests began with about 8 people, myself and my sister, as well as 6 of my friends. And I wanted my sunscreen not just to work for people with albinism, but for other skin types. So I focused on those who are light-skinned, dark-skinned, and in between, as well as those with albinism, so it can work for different skin types. People with albinism lack melanin, which is the pigment which gives skin its color and also protects someone from the harmful UV rays that come from the sun. But because we lack this melanin, we are more susceptible to skin cancer. So it can affect mainly those who are light-skinned, albinism inclusive, and it's less likely to affect those who are dark-skinned.
You know, normally when we talk about people with albinism and the problems that they might come up against in life, we often talk about social stigma. You do dealing with the health and science of it. So just explain to us why it's dangerous for people with albinism not to have affordable and effective sunscreen available to them.
Well, previously I narrated the story of my father who died from skin cancer. So that could be one risk, but people with albinism, well, in some cases, or most cases, it may come in a form known as Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome, in abbreviation HPS. This condition makes one's skin very delicate and very difficult to heal. So having this condition can make it very hard to recover after getting a sunburn, and this could later on result to skin cancer.
What other sun-avoidant behavior are you using at the moment because you're still developing your sunscreen? Do you use sunscreen? Are you able to afford it? Or do you also, for instance, wear hats and wear, long-sleeved clothes so that your skin is not as exposed to the sun as it might be?
Yes, I do continue to use sunscreen, but I also go for other means like hats, as you mentioned, trying to stay in the shade as much as possible.
Is sunscreen affordable for you, the one that you have available in Zambia right now?
In some cases, but in very few instances, I do receive it via donation. So it's available to some extent, but in some cases, one has to buy it. Currently in Zambia, sunscreen is just in the process of being made an essential medicine. Currently, just about 2 districts in our country do have sunscreen as an important medication, and you can find it in hospitals. The district I live in is one of those districts. So if government can put more effort into making it an essential medication, it will be much easier for people to accept this product and actually benefit from its use, its purpose.
Do you think there is enough encouragement of scientists to do that kind of thing and school students like yourself to be interested in projects like this?
Yes, it is. And it's not only medicine which is needed. In Africa, we have a lot of industries or other activities that people can venture in, which can contribute to our development. To other young ones and others who may just be interested in innovation, I would advise them not to see a problem as a roadblock, so to speak. As I narrated the experience of my father, may think that may be the end of the road. Now I've lost my dad, and what do I do? I saw that as an opportunity for me to start on the road to success. Instead of saying, I wish this problem had a solution, they can say, I will give this problem a solution. That way, your problem can be the beginning for success.
Indeed, it can. And I'm very pleased that you said that. How far is your sunscreen from the market, from being scaled up?
It's not yet on the market or ready for distribution. Currently, I'm just working on improving the shelf life because it's being made of organic materials. It doesn't have the good enough shelf life for those in rural areas in particular. If we look at the sunscreen we currently receive, it's all chemical and it can last for a long period of time. But the one I'm developing has to be in the fridge and can go up to 3 to 4 months. I need to work on the shelf life, improve that, then I'm sure it will be ready for the market. My aim is that before the end of this year, it must be at that stage for me to improve the shelf life and for it to be readily available to almost every Zambian citizen or just every African and others who may need it. At the moment, my main target is those in the rural parts of Zambia. If we look at Zambia, well, statistically, we find that we have over 21 million in population, of which nearly 30,000 live with albinism, and over 17,000, which is more than 50% of those 30,000, live in the rural parts of the country, where this sunscreen is either unavailable, and if it is, very few are able to afford it. But having it organic, the ingredients will be cheaper, so will the price, and it will be less skeptical because who would doubt it? It's something they know. The ingredients are things they can find in their gardens, find at the market, and it will be very easy to have.
Okay, then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mwape Chimpampa in Lusaka.